Hello students, welcome to today's video. Before I start discussing the video, let me announce that the note that I discuss from this will be available in PDF format on the Telegram channel. Yesterday also it had been made available, and from today onwards every day whatever discussion takes place, the PDF will be available on the Telegram channel. Today when I went through the major newspapers, I did not see much of the editorials or opinion pieces related to either political science or international relations. So that is why I picked up one article written by Harsh Pant on Hindustan Times on 18th of June. So, and yes, I would suggest to you people that please do go through Hindustan Times as well, because at times there are some very good articles and editorials present over there. Anyway, for this video, since it is a bit late, I shall be providing the link to that article in the description of the video. Okay. So again, this article by Harsh Pant was also written in context of G7 and how he has, again, just like C. Raja Mohan, he has also showed that how the West, the G7, it was looking towards global South. Though C. Raja Mohan, he was specifically focused towards India, or even Professor Mattu, he was also focused towards India. But Harsh Pant, he is talking about broader global South. And the title of the article was China in the Horizon, G7 Eyes the Global South. So from the title itself, you can see that ultimately it is about China plus Russia and the G7, the global West. They know that they cannot tackle it without global South. So that is why, and he has explained this meeting in Italy of the G7, which was the 50th meeting. So again, since this was the 50th meeting, so for the mains students as well, please look at G7. There could be a question related to G7 in your mains question paper. Okay. So he has explained this G7 meeting as a meeting of Western democracies and global South. And when we look at the representations from global South, you will find that the majority has been from the African. And apart from Africa, the important nations of global South. So that is why Harsh Pant, he has gone on to explain that why Africa is so much important for all of the many of the challenges that Europe is facing, and how in the joint communique, many of the initiatives that have been taken, they are targeted towards Africa, so as to deepen the engagements with Africa. Okay. So when we look at the membership, you can see there is Brazil and Argentina. Both are very important nations from Latin America. Then you have got UAE, Turkey. Again, the significance, apart from that, Jordan, Algeria, Kenya, Tunisia, Mauritania, all of these are, you can say, African nations. You can say that, come on, how Jordan can be. But again, I am talking about the broader Middle East plus Africa region. Okay. Because when we look at the ongoing crisis between Israel and Hamas, Jordan is a very important nation. So that is why even if you keep Jordan out of Africa, Jordan becomes very much important. Okay. And then obviously India. And Harsh Pant has also explained that regular invitation to India to the G7 meetings proves that India's weight, India's heft at the geopolitical high table is continuously increasing. Okay. And as per Harsh Pant, there were primarily two purposes for this G7 meeting. One was to coordinate against Russia, because we know that even within the West, there is a difference of opinion, there is a fragmentation. France wants to go one way, Britain wants to go another way, Germany wants to go another way, and USA yet another way. So there were some initiatives taken which proves that the G7 has shown, the global West has shown that it is at one page with respect to tackling Russia in Ukraine. And the second purpose was to enhance collective outreach to Africa. Okay, so that is why you can see among the members also, except for 4 or 5 members, all were from Africa. And even in the joint statements, many of the initiatives taken, they were also related to Africa. So Harsh Pant has said that there is an acceptance among the global West, among the G7, that there cannot be progress without Africa, which means in order to progress on any of the emerging global challenges, or in order to take whole of world approach, it is very much important that Africa needs to be considered and Africa needs to be engaged with. There needs to be investments in Africa. Okay, then whether it is about curbing climate crisis, because we know that most of the world's poor, among the poorest nations of Africa, poorest nations in the world, they are in Africa. And in recent times, Africa is being termed as the continent of future, because among the fastest growing economies in the world, many are there in Africa. Obviously, India is a major economy, but if we talk about the smaller economies, whether it is about the fastest growing economies or decline in death rate, youngest population, then a continent full of mineral resources, then there is scramble for Africa. You must have heard in the news that China has gone for, through its Belt and Road initiatives, it has gone for investment in Africa. Then when you look at Russia, Russia has sent its Wagner group and some other mercenaries to support the dictatorial regimes, military regimes in Africa, because Russia also knows that Africa is important and Russia needs to have a foothold. So because of all these concerns as well, there is a need among the G7, among the global West, to engage with Africa. Curbing climate crisis, and next is economic migration to Europe, because of instabilities that were caused solely because of Western nations. When you are looking at Libya, when you are looking at other nations, then what does this show? That all this economic migration, mostly apart from the Gulf region, the Mediterranean region, it is the African nations. Because of climate change, there is a scarcity of livelihood, continuous conflicts are there, and at the root of those conflicts again Western nations are there. So that is why they know that if we have to tackle economic migration, you must have heard about the pact between UK and Rwanda. So they are also looking at some way that if we have to tackle this refugee crisis, this economic migration crisis, they need to engage with Africa. So that is the third region. And next is addressing Europe's energy insecurity. Since the beginning of this Ukraine conflict, and sanctions have been put on Russia, so from where does Europe gets its energy needs? Then Africa is that one nation which can fulfill the energy needs of Europe. So that is another factor why Europe knows that it needs to remain engaged with Africa. Okay. And another very important thing that he has said is that he has linked it to the G20 summit that took place in India, and how India ensured that the African Union, it becomes a permanent member of G20. So he has said that first in G20, now those many nations, they are there in G7. So this shows that there is a broad agreement, there is a broad acceptance about the stance taken by India, and that Africa is important. And this shows that what India says about the global south, that is very much significant, that is very much important in steering the global multilateral agenda. Okay, so one thing is regarding importance of Africa, and then he has shown that how India is important, what India has done, that is including African Union into G20, and that is why, and that has been accepted by the global south, and this shows that what India says, that becomes the part of steering the global multilateral agenda. Okay, so next he has mentioned a set of initiatives that have been taken by G7 nations for deepening their engagement with Africa, and in order to remain engaged with Africa, and again always remember that it is through BRI and Russia through providing security through its groups like Wagner, that both Russia and China, they are deeply influenced or deeply involved in in Africa. So that is why Europe also wants that it should remain engaged with Africa, it should deepen its engagement with Africa so as to wean Africa away from Russia and China. And we have discussed it multiple times that the deepening of cooperation between Africa, between China and Russia, that is creating too much consternations, too much tensions within the global west. So now let us look at some of the initiatives taken, and these initiatives of the G7, they are specific for Africa. First is Energy for Growth in Africa. This initiative has been taken for investing in sustainable industrial and infrastructure development. So this is a point you can mention. For example, if you talk about climate change, what are the global initiatives that have been taken for climate change? This is a point that at G7, Energy for Growth in Africa initiative has been taken for investment in sustainable industrial and infrastructure development. Next is G7 coalition to prevent and counter smuggling of migration. What is the purpose? This is related to again your refugee or economic migrants. So you see, what is important over here is the language. They are not saying that we are restricting refugees or we are restricting economic migrants, because again if you put in there, ये उनके अपने डोमेस्टिक कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट्स को बेचना मुश्किल हो जाएगा. आप चाहे यूरोप, यूएस में बात करो, यूके में बात करो, जहां भी बात करो. सो दैट इज व्हाई they are talking about smuggling of migrants, so that they can sell it to the domestic audience that ultimately we are trying to tackle human trafficking. और देखो ये एक रियलिटी है कि चाहे यूएसए में जाना हो या यूरोप में जाना हो, छोटे छोटे बोट से, शायद चाहे इंग्लिश चैनल को क्रॉस करना हो, मेडिटेरेनियन सी को क्रॉस करना हो, या फिर यूएसए जाने के लिए वो जो डंकी रूट यूज होता है, ये सारे का सारा एक प्रॉफिटेबल बिजनेस होता है, सो दैट कि ऑल दोज पीपल हु आर डेस्परेट टू लीव एंड फाइंड बेटर एवेन्यूज, उनसे किसी तरीके से पैसे लेकर के और बुरे से बुरे कंडीशन में उनको, क्यों, बिकॉज इन दी एंड द सिचुएशन इज वेरी बैड. So actually you can term that as human trafficking, and that is why G7 nations, they have taken a decision to tackle human trafficking. और ये देखो PGII, ठीक है ना, पार्टनरशिप फॉर ग्रोथ, ग्लोबल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट, इसी के अंडर में दे हैव ऑल्सो सेड दैट IMEC को भी हम सपोर्ट करेंगे. तो PGII के थ्रू क्या है, G7 आउटरीच टू अफ्रीका एंड कंसीडर दिस एज अ टैकल इन ऑर्डर टू टैकल बेल्ट एंड रोड इनिशिएटिव, क्योंकि चाइनाज एंगेजमेंट विथ अफ्रीका इज प्राइमरली रिलेटेड टू इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोजेक्ट्स. तो अगर अफ्रीका को चाइना से हटाना है तो G7 नेशंस दे नीड टू पुट इन समथिंग. सो दैट इज व्हाई इट इज थ्रू PGII G7 ने कहा है कि हम अफ्रीका में जाएंगे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए. और देखो ये वाला ना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है रिलेटेड टू रशिया, जो मैं बोल रहा था थोड़ी देर पहले वैगनर ग्रुप्स के बारे में। तो रशिया ने क्या, देखो एंड जस्ट लुक एट द वर्डिंग, उन्होंने डायरेक्टली क्रिटिसाइज नहीं किया, उन्होंने रशिया को किस तरीके से क्रिटिसाइज किया है कि इस तरीके दी आर्म्ड ग्रुप्स लाइक वैगनर, व्हाट डू दे डू इज दैट दे हैव अ डिस्टेबलाइजिंग इंपैक्ट ऑन डेमोक्रेसी। सो अल्टीमेटली व्हाट दे आर ट्राइंग टू शो कि वी आर सपोर्टिंग डेमोक्रेसी एंड रशिया और रशिया बैक्ड ग्रुप्स दे आर नॉट इन फेवर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी। तो इससे अगेन दे आर सेंडिंग मैसेज टू द कॉमन पॉपुलेशन इन अफ्रीका दैट वी आर देयर टू प्रोटेक्ट डेमोक्रेसी एंड व्हाट रशिया इज डूइंग इट इज एक्चुअली सपोर्टिंग द मिलिट्री रेजिम्स, द डिक्टेटर्स। ठीक है। और उसके अलावा इन्होंने क्या किया है, चाइना को कंडेम किया और चाइना के हर एक इनिशिएटिव को कंडेम किया है। दे हैव टेकन अ स्पेशल इनिशिएटिव रिगार्डिंग चिप्स बिकॉज दे आर वेरी मच कंसर्न्ड कि ताइवान में कल को क्या हो सकता है। उसके अलावा व्हाट चाइना इज डूइंग इन द साउथ चाइना सी, व्हाट चाइना इज डूइंग इन द शिंकियांग, एंड वन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, अभी रिसेंटली नैन्सी पेलोसी एंड अदर्स वो लोग थे धर्मशाला में दलाई लामा से मिलने, और उसके ठीक पहले एक बाई पार्टीजान बिल पास हुआ है यूएस कांग्रेस में जिसमें की बात की गई है भैया तिब्बत की ऑटोनॉमी को इंश्योर करने के लिए, एंड चाइना ने कहा है कि यूएस प्रेसिडेंट शुड नॉट साइन दैट बिल। सो तिब्बत इज अनदर फैक्टर जो कि इन दोनों के बीच में टेंशन बन रहा है। और एक और इनिशिएटिव के बारे में बात हुई है, एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी रेवेन्यू एक्सिलरेशन, कि चाहे यूक्रेन को सपोर्ट करना हो और इट इज अबाउट रिकंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ यूक्रेन, दे आर सेइंग दैट वी आर गोइंग टू प्रोवाइड $50 billion वर्थ ऑफ फंड्स, एंड वेयर विल दोज फंड्स कम फ्रॉम? They will come from all those assets that have been seized, all those Russian assets that have been seized by the Western nations. और ठीक जिस दिन ये G7 की मीटिंग हुई उसके अगले दिन there was a Russian nuclear submarine along the coast of Ireland and Scotland. So Russia was sending a message that do not go for this. और ये जो इनिशिएटिव इन्होंने लिया है ना एसेट को फ्रीज करने का $50 billion, एंड we will make Russia pay from those assets, its assets which has been seized by the Western nations. तो इसका दिक्कत क्या होता है कि this will impact globalization, क्योंकि अगर आज अगर वेस्ट ऐसे कर रहा है तो कल को चाइना और चाइनीज बिजनेसेस दे विल आल्सो बी कंसर्न्ड कि कल के डेट में अगर चाइना ताइवान के साथ किसी तरह का कॉन्फ्लिक्ट आता है एंड इफ वी हैव गॉट आवर एसेट्स इन द वेस्टर्न नेशंस, हमारे एसेट्स भी सीज हो सकते हैं। So when you will talk about increasing conflicts or challenges to globalization, ठीक है ना, तो वहां पे आप ये वाला एग्जांपल दे सकते हो, फ्रीजिंग ऑफ रशियन एसेट्स की भी बात कर सकते हो। इसके कारण क्या होगा, there will be distrust among the global businesses, and if there is a distrust among the businesses, so naturally your globalization, economic globalization, that will be impacted negatively. However, जाते जाते हर्ष पंत ने एक कंसर्न दिखाया है। उन्होंने कहा है कि what has been shown is that West has proven that it is unanimous, it is coming together against both Russia as well as China. लेकिन हर्ष पंत ने कहा है कि all of this depends on the incoming administration in Washington. हमें पता है कि यूएस में इलेक्शंस हैं, अगर उस इलेक्शन के बाद डोनाल्ड ट्रंप आ गए तो, क्योंकि ट्रंप ने पहले ही कह रखा है कि मैं इस वॉर को तुरंत खत्म करवा दूंगा, यूक्रेन को वेपन देना बंद, वॉर खत्म। सो नेचुरली द अलायंस और द कॉन्फिडेंस अमंग द G7 नेशंस, द वेस्टर्न ब्लॉक इज वेरी मच कंटिंजेंट अपॉन द नेक्स्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन इन वॉशिंगटन। ओके, सो दैट वाज व्हाट हर्ष पंत वाज सेइंग। ठीक है, इसके रिलेटेड एक क्वेश्चन मैंने डाला है, लेकिन whatever I have suggested, whatever I have discussed, उससे आप क्वेश्चन का सिर्फ एक पार्ट डिस्कस कर सकते हो। द क्वेश्चन इज Africa is central to tackling the ongoing crisis. Comment. And second part is, what step has India taken to deepen its engagement with? Sorry, it's not Russia, it's Africa. मैं PDF डालूंगा वहां पे, मैं इसे चेंज कर दूंगा, ठीक है ना। सो देखो जो सेकंड वाला पार्ट है वो तो आ जाएगा इंडिया अफ्रीका रिलेशन से। जो फर्स्ट वाला है ना वो उसके लिए यू कैन पिक अप पॉइंट्स फ्रॉम हियर, वेदर इट इज अबाउट टैकलिंग क्लाइमेट चेंज, ठीक है ना, वेदर इट इज अबाउट एनर्जी सिक्योरिटी, whether it is about refugee crisis. So all these factors, Africa is at the center. आप वहां पे एग्जाम्पल दे सकते हो, जब हम क्या कहते हैं, क्या है, वन सन वन अर्थ, वन सन वन वर्ल्ड वन ग्रिड, इसका जो सोलर वाला कंपोनेंट है वो अफ्रीका फोकस्ड ही है ना। इसके अलावा एशिया अफ्रीका ग्रोथ कॉरिडोर हमने कई सारे इनिशिएटिव्स लिए हैं। रिसेंटली 2018-19 में हमने वहां पे अपनी एम्बेसीज भी बढ़ाई 18 न्यू नेशंस के साथ। हमने G20 में अफ्रीकन यूनियन के इंक्लूजन की बात की। अफ्रीकन नेशंस नाउ दे आर पार्ट ऑफ ब्रिक्स। सो यू कैन मेंशन, लेकिन वो सब सेकंड में होगा। फर्स्ट वाला जो है ना जो हमने यहाँ पे डिस्कस किया वहां से ले सकते हैं। ओके, सो दैट्स ऑल फॉर टुडेज डिस्कशन। किसी भी तरह का एनी टाइप ऑफ डाउट यू कैन ऑलवेज पुट इन द कमेंट्स एंड आई शैल बी रिस्पॉन्डिंग टू देम। ओके, सो दैट्स ऑल, थैंक यू वेरी मच।